The train, for its type, is the most powerful vehicle on land. And the engines of Sodor are the power behind the docks, industries and branch lines that make up the world-renowned Northwestern Railway. These are the stories of Sodor. At the risk of sounding like a broken record, I once again need to elaborate on something I said in a previous story. When I was talking about fitted trains, you may recall how I said they don't need brake vans. That's because instead of a van, they have what's called the end of train device, or EOTD. This little gizmo acts like an air pressure gauge, which enables the locomotive to control the continuous brakes on the train. It should go without saying that if it's damaged or improperly installed, it can cause problems. I'm sorry to say this story involves one of those cases, but that's not where it starts. It actually begins with Francis being very ticked off by something in the newspapers. It's absolutely scandalous! What's he on about? Did you see this morning's headline? Aye, but my driver hasn't picked up a copy yet. Well, I did, and I regret it. So do I. I shouldn't have asked you to read it to me. Why? What was in it? The speed record between London and Edinburgh was recently broken by another diesel. Why's that a problem? Who do you think held the previous record? You did? Oh, splendid! Splendid! If it upsets you, absolutely. Thanks for making my day, Walter. Don't mention it. Ever. I don't know why I expected compassion from any of you. Come off it, Francis. Even you had to think someone would break your record someday. Of course I did, Henry, but I never dared believe it would be done by a Class 74. What's a Class 74? They're also known as EDs, or electro diesels. They're not one of BR's better designs, but they've started overhauling them recently. Sounds like they've supercharged one of them. Good on them, I say. You would, wouldn't you? You and they have a lot in common, because we're both failures that have risen to dizzying heights. You said it, not I. So you still consider me a failure? Oh shit! Why do railways hate me? I'm sorry, Onslow. Derek! I'll be right there, Sam. We'll continue this later. Oh, joy. Has anyone ever told you you're an ass? I believe you both have on multiple occasions. Then one more won't hurt. You're an ass. You must have felt quite at home in the tunnel, Henry. Very droll, Francis. What happened? Leaking brake pipe. The banker pushed us to lower napford and my driver patched it up using your bootlace trick, James. Hang on, did that actually happen? Sort of. We used a newspaper and some wire to mend a leak. Oh, that makes more sense. I trust you know I didn't hide in the tunnel because of rain. I do. Wilbert told me. It was during the Blitz, right? Aye. I was pulling a passenger train when I heard the planes flying overhead. The tunnel was nearby, so in I went. All that stone and soil made for the perfect shelter. It's a shame others weren't so fortunate. Wilbert told me about that too. Do you mind if I ask you lads a question? About the war? About Peter. Why? Since the day I was built, I'd been hearing stories about your platoon. So you know about Peter and the hospital? Yeah, and when he was let out of Railgate, it caused quite a stir. I had hoped to meet him someday, but since that's not going to happen, I wanted to ask you what he was like. Was he a monster? Depends on who you ask. This has nothing to do with me, James. Maybe not, but you went out of your way to torment him. Well, excuse me for not being kind towards the convicted war criminal. He served his time. And that makes everything better. I recall hearing you weren't too fond of his return, Gordon, but I came to terms with it, and he expressed express genuine remorse for what he did. For God's sake, he pled guilty at his trial. Again, does that make everything better? I'm appalled by how willing all of you are to turn a blind eye to the murder of innocent people. Is it because they were the enemy?
We were at war, Francis. You can't understand what it was like.
Oh, yes, you were just following orders, doing your duty and all that rubbish. I'm sure the soldiers of the Third Reich said the same thing. You tosser!
All right, never mind. Let's drop it. Forget I brought it up.
I agree we should end this conversation, but let me answer your question. Peter was not a monster. He was a good man who did a terrible thing. My word, Francis, I didn't think it was possible for you to stoop any lower, but here we are. All I did was point out their hypocrisy. I mean, if it had been a German locomotive that shelled a British hospital, I doubt they would be so willing to forgive, and I certainly doubt they wouldn't want retribution. So I suppose you support the Jerry that killed Peter? I wouldn't say that. I may not have respected Peter, but I did not want him dead. I was rather shocked when it happened, actually, and maybe slightly upset. But over time I came to realize I'm not really sad that he's gone. All right, I have to know. Why did you hate him so much? What did he ever do to you? Nothing, but let's just say I've met some of the victims of that war.
He means me.
I wasn't going to name names, Walter.
I don't mind talking about it, Francis, assuming Daisy wants to listen.
Only if you're certain, Walter.
I am, and I may as well start off by telling you I'm actually German. I was about 2 years old when the war ended. That's when me and my mother came here.
Was it just the two of you?
Yeah, we lived in a small village that was attacked by Allied forces. My father and younger sister died during the battle.
Walter's been my driver since the day I was built, so I've heard this story before. He and his family were innocent throughout the entire conflict, but still had to pay for it. Do you think that was fair? No, but I don't think our lads went out of their way to make their lives miserable.
Neither do I.
What?
She's right, Francis. If the Nazis hadn't occupied my village, the Allies would have left it alone. I'm sure the same could be said of the hospital Peter destroyed. Do you really think he would have dropped a shell on it otherwise?
Well, no. It still doesn't sit right with me.
Like Henry said, we were at war.
How come you've never told me this before?
I thought I had, or at the very least I thought I made it clear the only ones I blame for what happened are the Nazis. Don't forget, they started the damn war.
Just when I thought my day couldn't get any worse.
Nice to see you too, Francis.
Oh God, don't tell me you two know each other. Would that I could, James, but Desmond here was one of the most unreliable diesels I have ever known. He was always late because he was constantly breaking down. He was the Derek of the southern region.
And now I've gone from failure to record holder.
Wait, that was you? Your name wasn't mentioned in the paper.
I don't know why. I told the reporter what it was. This makes it so much better. I actually get to see your face when you find out it was me.
Is that why you're here? To gloat?
No, I brought in a passenger train from London. Ever since I set that record, I've had my choice of assignments. Sounds like your career is really taking off. Congratulations, Desmond. Thank you, Henry. Oh, and Scott sends his regards to all of you.
You know my brother?
I recently had the pleasure of meeting him. He congratulated me for my record, and I thanked him for being an inspiration. He was grateful I took it in stride, said I behaved so much better than my predecessor.
So you've met Scott as well? Yes. It was shortly after I broke his record. I said to him, in jest of course, that I'm the real Flying Scotsman. Very droll, Francis.
Honestly, Francis, is there anyone from the mainland you haven't ticked off?
I hope not. I would hate for anyone to feel left out.
Well, it looks like you finally received your comeuppance. Those are some fine-looking trucks you have there. Are they first or second class?
I wouldn't expect you to understand, Desmond, but being able to pull coaches and trucks without breaking down makes one a really useful engine. Wouldn't you agree, James? I would if your injector hadn't failed recently. Then there was your cooling system before that.
And your fuses before that. And you have the nerve to call Derek a failure.
Ugh. All right, that's it. I can't take it anymore. If you're going to have a hissy fit, can you wait until after we've left? I am not going to have a hissy fit, James. I am going to do something I should have done a long time ago. You wanted to see me, Francis? Yes, sir. Thank you for coming. Look, if you're going to gripe about tomorrow's fuel train, no, sir, I am not. I would like to request a transfer. A transfer? What brought this on? It's been a long time coming, Mr. Watson. I once told Sir Tom that there's no place for me here. I'm afraid that hasn't changed over the subsequent years. And do you ever wonder why? No, sir. I know it is largely of my own doing. I've alienated nearly every engine on Sodor, and I take full responsibility for that. I actually admire your self-awareness. Have you thought about trying to fix it? Not really, sir. Given how much the others hate me, I don't think they would be receptive to reconciliation. I certainly wouldn't in their place. But setting all that aside, I feel wasted here. What do you mean by wasted? I mean I should be out there gliding through the British countryside delivering passenger trains between cities. Instead, I'm confined to a single island hauling trucks and the occasional commuter service. It's all so unsatisfying and frustrating. I understand Gordon was built for a similar reason, but he's never complained about his situation. Be honest with me, Francis. Does this have anything to do with a desire to reclaim your record? No, sir, but it has made me realize how much I miss my life on the mainland. I need to be out there, Mr. Watson, so please, will you approve my transfer? I'll think about it. So I heard you might be leaving us. I'm sure you were devastated by such news. Oh, absolutely beside myself. If you are going to be transferred, we should finish our discussion. Is there really anything to discuss, Derek? Since you still think I'm a failure, I would have to say yes. I don't think you're a failure, Derek. Not anymore. Failures are turned into scrap, not fire and rescue chiefs. You've come a very long way since your early days, and you should be very proud of that. Oh. Well, thank you, Francis. I'm surprised to hear you say that. All I did was tell the truth, nothing more. As for my attitude at the harbour, that was nothing more than a spiteful retort, and I'm sorry about that. Apology accepted. Now, what about everything you said during my early days? Are you sorry for any of that? To be honest, I don't know. I mean, at the time I was right. Even you agreed with me. That was before I knew better. I used to think my problems came about from not working hard enough, but we were both wrong. It isn't my fault the men who built me were idiots. You're right. You're absolutely right. Fine, Derek. I'm... Tosser. Anyway, I'm on fire! What? There's smoke coming from one of your tankers! How in blazes did that happen? We'll worry about that later. For now, let's stay calm. I'll call for... Oh dear. Now can we panic? No. Uncouple from your train and pull away now. No, we should get this lot out of here. Are you mad? Why would we do that? Because we've seen what one exploding tanker can do. Imagine if all of these go up. My God, you're right. The whole town could be leveled. But where can we take... Wait, the tunnel! We can stash this train inside the tunnel. Brilliant idea, but I'll handle it. Move aside, Francis. With all due respect, Chief, no. This train needs to leave now. Walter, you should... No chance, Francis. Where you go, I go. Well then, tally-ho! You didn't hose down the tankers? We couldn't risk it. The flames would have made them extremely hot. If we had sprayed them with cold water, they could have split open. Since they were filled with oil, well, you can imagine. No, it was safer to wait and let the fire burn itself out, which it did. My men were then able to process the scene. How bad was it? The tankers suffered some damage, but nothing serious. Likewise for the tunnel. And we found out why your brakes came on, Francis. Your train's EOTD was faulty. At least my injector didn't fail again. Any idea what caused the fire? I think I might have. I was running late and had to thrash myself to make up for lost time. Maybe a spark flew from my funnel as I passed by. If that's what happened, I'm so sorry, Francis. I hope you know I didn't mean to do that. Of course I do, James.
I have to say it was pretty quick thinking to stash those tankers in the tunnel.
I have you to thank for that, Henry. When you said it made for the perfect shelter, I felt it could contain a threat and defend against one in equal measure. And risking your life to attempt such a feat was very brave of you, Francis. Well done. Thank you, Gordon, but I can hardly take credit. I barely made 50 feet after all. The banker is the real hero here.
Unfortunately, we can't reward a ghost for its efforts, so you'll have to do.
I'm being rewarded, sir?
Yes. Now, before you get too excited, I've decided to not approve your transfer. I've been reviewing your record, and despite many issues, you are one of our most productive engines. Therefore, we need you here. However, I have been thinking about what you said about feeling confined. So, how would you like to handle all of Sodor's motor rail services? You'll be able to stretch your wheels while still being available to help out here. What do you say?
I think that's a perfect compromise, sir. I accept. Thank you. And if I'm going to remain on Sodor, I need to be a better engine. So, gentlemen, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all the horrid things I've ever said to you. My conduct was abysmal, and I have no excuse. Too right. But it's not like we made things any better.
Aye, we gave as good as you got.
Indeed, we shouldn't have lowered ourselves like that.
Why don't we admit we all made mistakes and start over?
I would like that. Me 2.
Me 3.
Me 4. So what brought on this desire for reconciliation, Francis? My own mortality. Being stuck coupled to a burning fuel train makes one rethink their life.
Well, I'll make sure you aren't given any fuel trains for the immediate future.
That won't be necessary, Mr. Watson. I'm perfectly willing to do tomorrow's run and any future deliveries.
Really?
Well, you didn't shy away from the kipper after your infamous crash. How could I do any less? Congratulations, Francis. You've finally become a really useful engine, and it only took a near-death experience to accomplish that. Very droll, Francis. Ugh. I also apologize for being so condescending, too.
It's all right, Francis. They're not on fire.
Good. Who knew being a really useful engine made one so anxious? I almost wish the banker would show up and give me a shove.
So do I. I'd like to thank him.
Indeed. Banker, if you happen to hear this, thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Peter?
Hello, Francis.
Walter?
Am I seeing things?
You and me both. Is it really you?
It's really me, Francis, and I'm really dead. I popped it the moment those bullets hit me.
And you've been banking trains ever since? Why?
I don't know. I have no control over it. I just appear and disappear whenever. What about the memory thing? Are you doing that?
No. I have no idea why any of this is happening.
The best reason I can come up with is I'm being punished for what I did.
It's so tiring, but I guess it's what I deserve. I am a monster after all. No, you're not.
What?
You're not a monster, Peter. You don't deserve this. You also didn't deserve my scorn. I'm sorry for that. I had no right to pass judgment on you, and to whatever force is passing judgment, I dare say he's suffered enough. Yes, he did a terrible thing, but it was during a time of war, and he paid for it.
But is it enough?
After yesterday, it certainly is. You saved an entire town from destruction, Peter. That makes you a hero.
You think so?
I do. Well done.
Wow, thank you. Blimey, I don't remember the last time I actually smiled.
Huh? What's wrong?
I see something. It's faint. Is that a light? What's happening?
I think you're finally going where you belong. Oh my God. It's beautiful. I'm sure it is. Give my regards to Reginald and all the rest when you see them. Tell them it was a pleasure knowing them.
I will. I would ask you to do the same for me with the others, but you might not remember this.
I guess we'll see what happens. Goodbye, Peter.
Goodbye, Francis.
Oh, splendid! Yes, I'm pleased to say Francis did remember his encounter with our late number 15. He told us all about it, and it brought us a great deal of comfort knowing he had finally found peace through redemption. I'm just as pleased to tell you this whole experience had a wonderful effect on the Class 46. True to his word, he reconciled with everyone, even Desmond during one of his motorrail trips. This new assignment did wonders for his morale. He never did reclaim his record, and that was because he didn't try. He was perfectly content knowing he once held it. Indeed, he became a really useful engine who no longer griped about taking trucks. Life carried on after that, and as the 60s drew to a close, we wondered what the new decade would have in store for us. And let me tell you, it would be a very eventful time. But those are stories for another day.